3 decades back when I was facing the interview board. I was asked one question, what are you going to do in UP? There you need guns to survive. You have mafias, you have criminals, and that time we had a lot of dacoits too. So I laughed and said, doesn't matter, I'll pick up my pen and not the gun. I got the job, and as luck have it, after some years, I had to pick up the gun too, but in a different way. One fine morning, I got a call from my editor, and he said, there is a massacre somewhere in the remote corner of UP. Sunita, go and cover it. I was very young at that time. I said, very exciting, I'm going to go and cover it, no problems. So I took that grand old Ambassador, which were available at that time as a mode of transport, and started for some place in Etava. And I was told that the village is right on the banks of the river, so I was more excited, it'll be very beautiful and all that stuff. So the first thing I did was once I reached the place, I started asking people, where is this village? And nobody could give me any guidance. So I went to the district magistrate's house, and I said, first he looked up and saw a girl standing in front of him. And he said, yes, what? He was virtually in tears. I could make out he had not slept whole night. He was shattered, rattled. He was getting calls from his bosses. He said, what can I do for you? I said, I want to go to that village. He said, what? I said, I want to go to that village where 22 people have been killed and some houses burnt. He said, are you sure about it? I said, I'm 100% sure. That's the assignment of the day for me, and I am going to do it. He said, I'll give you all the details sitting here, and you can file your report. I said, nothing doing. He saw that I was a bit stubborn. So he said, okay, how do you propose to go? I said, okay, I have my ambassador. He said, your ambassador can't reach there. And then he pointed towards a jeep. And he said, I'll give you that, you go with that. So I hopped into one, still very excited, not knowing where I'm going, what's going to happen. And then suddenly I found 4 young cops hopping into the jeep with their guns and all that. I said, maybe they're going on duty, that's why this guy has given me his vehicle. So we drove down, it was 10 kilometers, I think we took about 2 hours traveling, and there was no road, there was no way. We drove through bushes, I had to protect my face from scars. I can't describe you, there are no words, but there were some times as the jeep turned and twisted, you could touch the ground. And suddenly those boys the cops in the back said, man, can you hold my gun? I can't handle myself, and you have come all the way and I have to protect you. I said, okay, I can handle one gun, not all. And that's how I picked up the gun. We drove through huts, and I reached there and I did my report. But what really hurt me that day was when one of them said, don't you have men working in your office that they have sent you here? That women thing chased me throughout. You are a woman? You can't do reporting. I said, why can't I do reporting? I love meeting people. I love interacting with them. I love learning from them. And I love sharing my experiences with them. So why can't I do reporting? But you are a woman. The politicians were reluctant to meet a woman. The informers were reluctant to share information. And I kept on telling them, hey, I'm not a woman, I'm a reporter. Sometime back when one of the chief ministers said, his official said that he's not very comfortable with women. I said, why I'm editor, I'm not a woman. That's his problem, not my problem. Same paper, after several years of struggle and all, made me resident editor. I happened to be the first one in North India. Because before that, everybody thought a woman can't be editor. Forget a reporter in a Hindi heartland, and definitely not editor, because men don't listen to women. Believe me, everybody listens to the chair. Whosoever occupies it, it's men or women. My journey till date has been very exciting. And I feel that it's just the other day I joined. I've spent so many years, I don't ever think about it, because I'm looking ahead for many, many more years. There's nothing like, I hate the word retirement. You only retire when God retires you, not before that, retires you from this place. My journey, I thought I had achieved so much. There's so much I can talk about. But during the course of my career, I met amazing women. When we talk about show up, I think there are women in every village, every town, every city who have done wonders. There are a lot of women who come to us. They come to us for publicity. They come to us not only for publicity, they are looking for recognition. And what else can we give them? Just recognition. And they are women who inspire others. I can never forget, I met a lady when we had done a function on, we had a debate on No Child Born to Die. And I remember this woman, Mula Devi, I would mention. She came from the same ravines which I had visited years back. And she, illiterate women with no knowledge, had saved about 400 infants. What an amazing, amazing contribution. I wanted her at that conference, and I contacted her and I said, Amma, you have to come here. And she said, okay, I'll come. But she had never been out of that little area she had been living in. She said, there is no road. For 15 kilometers, how do I reach the main? I said, okay, I'll send you a taxi. I sent her. I wanted her to narrate her story in a 5-star hotel, which she entered for the first time with that tin suit. You know, they used to carry in villages, they still have those tin boxes. And then she narrated her story, and after some time, the chief minister was so moved. He himself went on the dais and said, what can I do? So she said, Lalla, that's how they address children. Lalla, give me one hospital. That's what she said. Let me take you to Uttarakhand now. Uttarakhand, I met a lady, Chanda. There were 5 women who fought a gang of timber mafia in the hills. 5 women with armed timber mafia. They used their brain. They did not need a muscle power. Women, what do people say? Hey, what can you do? You don't have that strength which men have. But women have brains, and they can fight any situation using their brains. And my journey is all about meeting such women, such men also, because I don't believe in gender divide, so such amazing people. I remember meeting another lady in south of India. She was building a mosque exclusively for women. So I said, I'm coming to your place and I want to meet you. She was in Pudukkottai. I had a lot of problem talking to them because none of them knew Hindi or English even. And when I went to her house, there were some celebrations going on. I said, what are these celebrations all about? So we came to know it is about a girl that she had adopted, an abandoned child from the market. She said, I found this little baby like there. I picked it and I brought her here. She took me to an area where there was a mosque, there was a church, there was a gurdwara, and there was a temple. And she said, I have given her a name, Shairi. I've taken her to all these religious shrines, giving her the freedom to choose her religion once she grows up. We have people like them in our country where all of us like to brag about our caste, our community, or create differences over it. Has been a there's so much I can share. People talk about why, whenever I go to colleges, when I go to schools, which I love to do, talking to students, answering their questions. There are a lot of questions that young girls ask me today. Okay, I want to wear mini skirt. My mother doesn't permit me to do that. I said, if you wear it, better be prepared for the consequences too. You can defy your mother, but be prepared to face the consequences. But when a young girl asked me, I want to join the armed forces, but my parents are okay with it, but my relatives are saying, don't let her go, you are going to spoil your daughter. What do? I said, rebel, go on hunger strike, don't listen to anyone, because tomorrow when you will be wearing a uniform, the world will salute you, including your relatives who are opposing it today. So what do we want to show up? Our body? We want to wear a half meter in a society which is still very regressive, where we are still fighting mindsets, or we want to show up our achievement, our grit, our determination to achieve what we want to do. It's very easy to say, it's my choice, it's my life. Yes, it's your choice, it's your life, but your choice is what you should know. Every woman has the freedom to decide what she wants to wear, what time she wants to go, what she wants to do. But according to the circumstances that prevail around her, we are fighting regressive mindsets. And believe me, when I hate talking about myself, but when I became a journalist, after some time my language changed. My father-in-law said, you were such a soft-spoken person, what has happened to you? I said, nobody listens to a soft-spoken person. What do? I have to speak this language. I had family members coming and saying, you take a chutti, we are your in-laws from this side and that side. You have to be here looking after us. I said, no, tell my husband to stay at home and take care. I also work. I have cooked food for you. It's on the table. Please help yourself. But I'm as a professional as my husband is. I'm not going to make any compromise. And believe me, all those relatives accepted me despite my defiance of certain traditions and rules that follow in our... But I took care of them. Believe me, because I always thought home doesn't come to office and office doesn't go to home. They are two distinct places and you have to maintain that. And that brings me to the question, what do we want to be known as? We want to be known as a professional or we want to be known as a woman? Why do we take up personal problems to offices? We have to behave professional if you want people to talk about your performance and not what you're wearing. Coming next to, I've met a lot of politicians. I remember Mayawati. I went to Gauriganj where a group of women was sitting and I said, hey, your leader wears so many diamonds, so you don't wear, what do you say? And she looked at me, are you the only one who can wear diamonds and no one else? What is Mayawati doing when she wears diamonds? She shows her community that today I wear, tomorrow you can wear. She's selling dreams to them. We can mock at her, but our constituency takes it in a different way. I sometimes feel women in positions need to do much more than what they have done. We did HT Women Awards. I have a data bank of 500 women today who have done great job. People they don't know about them. We have taken up cause of acid attack. I remember a young girl coming and saying, okay, let's not talk about a painful story, we'll talk about your dreams. And she said, I danced like Madhuri Dixit. Her face burnt. She still looked so beautiful and we provided her stage to do a ramp walk and a dance. I think women in positions have to hunt and nurture women talent across the globe. We had Indira Gandhi, we have energy, we have so many. What have they done for women? Why do we demand 33%? The day women unites, if we can show up our unity, all these politicians will be coming to women, begging for their votes with a women agenda and a manifesto in their hand. We have to show up that we are one. We are not divided by our caste and community. I think the major issue that we have today is crime against women, and no government has any program, nothing, because we are divided. Perhaps a time has come, I keep on telling, I keep on writing, a time has come for women across the globe to emerge as a force and not as a women. We talk about terror. I have met women who are fighting child marriages, they're fighting mafias, they're fighting terror. I think it's high time UN realizes the power of a woman. There is a mass production of terrorists in the country, across the globe. But nobody has ever thought that a woman, a mother and a wife can stop this production of terrorists. We know one Malala, but there are Malalas across the world, across countries. Nobody has ever thought about using that women power to combat problems like terrorism. There are women groups. I think it's high time someone like me, someone like all women in positions think of their responsibility and do some work and highlight iconic figures, because that's the only way we can show up that we are not just women. We are not just somebody who's using bodies. We are somebody who has brains. We are somebody who has strength. We are somebody who has power. We have family support. Interestingly, a lot of people are coming with family support. Last thing, MeToo. I'm also chairperson of Sexual Harassment Committee, and I've told girls when they come to me with their complaints, I said, give me in writing. And if you have used that person to climb the steps, then don't come to me. There can't be MeToo when you have also used yourself to get certain things. But for the success of MeToo, I always say, what about women laborers? What about sex workers? What about housewives? Who's talking about them? I've heard their stories. They're painful stories. They're painful stories where mothers also don't stand up with their daughters. They're painful stories of girls being sent on trucks to sell sex. They're painful stories where parents push their daughters into sex business because there is somebody dying at their home. But who's talking about it? MeToo can't be confined to urban areas and some of us. MeToo has to be a global phenomenon. Every woman, even a sex worker has a right to live with dignity. Whatever profession she is in, she has a right to live with dignity. Nobody is supposed to exploit her. So I personally feel if we are talking about MeToo, we are talking about our freedom, we are talking about our independence, we are talking about the barriers that we have crossed, we are talking about achievement. If we are celebrating all that, it's half celebration. I think we'll celebrate the day when a young girl who's pushed in a truck to sell herself also comes up and says, this is how my parent exploited. We will be able to celebrate when the mother says that, okay, my girl was raped, but I'm with her. Hell with the society. I don't want society. I don't want my child to suffer. I think the day we'll celebrate is when a school principal told me about a child who was suffering. She asked her and she was told, it's very recent, that her uncle was abusing her every night. I said, go and complain to your mother, that principal told her. And she said, I did. And she said, This is something which has been happening in our families for decades and years and years and years. Then that's the day when the principal called the mother and said, you better do this. You can't allow your daughter to suffer like this. And she said, you don't interfere in our personal family life. And the principal said, I'm sending your case to the police. You better stop it, otherwise I'm going to ensure that all of you go to jail. And that's the day it stopped. We'll celebrate when mothers will not talk about those conventions. They might have suffered. They should not allow their daughters to suffer. As a newspaper, we try to highlight all these things. We try to bring out parenting. We try to bring out whatever is happening in the society. But to be very, very honest, I still don't feel like celebrating. Till the women there, I see myself in every woman. Till she's happy, I can't be.